everybody, and welcome to the Bob Stoops app. I'm Brad McMullen, along with Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops. And Coach, we have a lot to talk about, but the first subject, some sad news in Sooner Nation. We lost a great one in number 16, Fletcher. Patrick Fletcher passed away.
Yeah, Patrick Fletcher, just a beautiful guy, happy, always positive. You know, the whole world runs around energy. All Pat had was positive energy all the time. Great leader, teammate, friend to everybody, always had a big smile. I love that guy, believe me. It's really sad. And the only blessing for me, every time I saw him, I give him a big hug. He'd hug me, and I told him I loved him. So yeah, that's a big loss. And everybody, please pray for Diana and their children and their family.
Yeah, I was fortunate to grow up with him, to play with him at Norman High, to go to the University of Oklahoma with him as one of my fraternity brothers. Just so fortunate to be around that great spirit. But one of the things, again, as a buddy of his, 1999, that Texas A&M, the fake. Oh. Come on, let's talk about this game. You got a top 10 A&M team. This is the beginning of the game. I mean, that just changed the whole outcome of the game.
It's the first series of the game. There's like 12:55 on the clock. I told the guys, we're going for broke here. We're tired of, we have leads in games. This is our homecoming. They're the defending Big 12 champions. And we're going for it. We're done with this losing. And I call a fake field goal rather than kicking the field goal. And we're in easy field goal range. So I bring the team up. We're going to run the fake. We practiced all week. Both tight ends go out to the corner, to the flags. And both wings go straight to the flat. So the whole middle is going to be wide open. We're going to put Tim Duncan, going to act like he's kicking the ball and go right down the middle. Well, we call the fake. Everyone's got it. Tim Duncan was kicking the ball in the net, warming up. He's not in there for the. So Pat looks around and Tim Duncan just standing there by him, and Pat Fletcher does what he did. He was a scrappy guy, peels out around the end, starts running for the first down. I don't know how he did it. There's three guys ready to kill him.
Yeah.
He dives low between all three of them, makes the first down by half a football. So, and we score like 2-3 plays later, a touchdown, go on to win 51-6. But I promise you, if he doesn't pick up that first down, the momentum isn't what it was. You know, we're who knows if we win the game or not. He was just such a special guy, and he was everything Sooners.
Amen.
He loved everything about Sooners.
And I go back to the national championship parade moment when he gave that speech
Oh.
up there. You were right behind him.
Smiling.
What was
the
that
whole
like
time.
to just hear him just so excited?
You know, I love seeing it again. You know, now that it's resurfaced, you just appreciate him. He was like a preacher up there and talking about OU and this is who we are. And it was fun to see again.
Yeah, getting to spend some time with his family over this last week. We love you, Fletcher family, and
Yeah.
we're so sorry for your loss. Great part is he is actually going to be celebrating Easter with the King of Kings, and that was always important to him to share his faith with all types of people, and we're going to miss him very, very much.
Absolutely.
All right, to talk about Patrick Fletcher's favorite subject, of course, the Oklahoma Sooners. They're doing a lot of things right in the spring. They've done a lot of things right in the portal, bringing in John Mateer. There's a lot of excitement around this program, and a lot of outsiders are saying, hey, wait a minute, this Oklahoma team could be primed for something special this year.
I sure hope so. Again, you know who I am. I love OU. I love Brent Venables, the whole staff. I've got to meet John Mateer. What a great guy, seeing him and being with them. And Coach Arbuckle, got total confidence in what he's been able to do and what I believe he can do here. So I love it. I think we'll surprise people.
Yeah, I think
not me, but other people.
I think OU is going to do well. And when you look at that schedule, it's crazy, right? It's the SEC schedule, and then you bring in Michigan, that's a year removed from a national championship. They've reloaded, and Michigan arguably was the best team in the country the last 2 weeks of the season when they beat Ohio State, who wins the national championship, and beat Alabama in a bowl game. This is not an easy schedule for the Sooners.
Oh, are you kidding me? I mean, We have the toughest SEC schedule overall, I believe anyway.
Yeah, and number one most difficult according to multiple publications.
And then you throw Michigan on top of it, who just at the last game of the regular season, beat the national champs in Ohio State. So that tells you a lot. But again, I got great faith in our program and Coach Venables and all the leaders here. We'll rise up and we'll fight.
And I think the X factor for OU this year is Jim Nagy, our new general manager. He had run the Senior Bowl for the last 7 years, spent 18 years in the NFL, guys, and he was a part of 6 Super Bowls. This is a guy that understands talent, and he talked about it. Look, the expectations at Oklahoma are high, and they should be high. He said this, not me. We should compete for an SEC championship every single year and should be competing for the national championship every single year. He gets it. He understands it. He also threw out there that look at what Oregon was able to do and Ohio State in 1 year using the portal. He's excited about bringing great people to Norman.
Well, I love his experience in analyzing talent. That's what he's made his living on. And you can never have too many eyes. Mm-hmm. To me, I would welcome that. Somebody that's been their livelihood in how they evaluate talent. What's a guy worth? This is how much money we have to work with. Let's maximize it. So I really believe Jim Nagy's going to really help that way.
I agree with you. And well, OU has an experience to hold out. College football's seen a pretty high-profile one with Nico at Tennessee now leaving the program. This happens in the NFL every year. You know that well. Now we're starting to see it in college football, and I don't think this is a one and done. I think this is going to be the beginning of a lot of these down the road.
Yeah, well, unless you have contracts.
Yep.
In the NFL, you have a contract, I have a contract, college football, whatever it is. You can't be a free agent every year. So I just think there'll be changes that can circumvent some of this that's happening. So right now, it's a free market every single day. But I don't think we can continue to operate that way. And I believe some things will start to change with contracts and whatnot.
Yeah,
and penalties if you don't live up to your contract.
And how difficult it is for a program. You put your eggs in that one basket at any position, but obviously the high-profile quarterback position, and then all of a sudden you don't have it. So Caesar Sportsbook had Tennessee at plus 10 wins coming into the year. Now they've got them back to 6 by losing that quarterback position. And as you know, you lose the quarterback position, that's a big piece of the pie.
I don't care what level of football, every level, quarterback is the main position. If you have a great quarterback or your quarterback's better than the other guy, your chances of winning are much different when you have the best quarterback. And if you don't, it's the opposite.
Yep, and again, he will find a new home. Somebody out there will want him. Of course, he led Tennessee to their first college football playoffs so far. All right, let's talk a little bit about the UFL, the Renegades, 2-1 on the season. Friday night, though, Coach, it was heartbreaking. The defense, wow, they played so well. You had the lead all game into that very end. Yeah,
it was hard to take. We led the entire game until the last 22 seconds, and then we didn't. And, we actually had got an interception on 4th down. Yeah. We're going to win the game. We're going to run the clock out. And the review in the booth was they had a false start. Well, with a false start, you can't decline the penalty. So they gave him the ball back minus 5 yards, but they gave him another 4th down attempt, and he makes it by half a yard. Our guys all over him. They make the play. So you got to give it to them. They went down, end up scoring, and then make the 2-point conversion to go up 10-9 on us. But we blew it ourselves. I felt we had a 1st and goal at the 16-yard line earlier than that. Yeah. We could have kicked a field goal. We take a sack for 15 yards on 1st down, not 3rd down, 1st down. And then our next play, we try something, and our receiver gets stripped. So we lose the ball. We get no points. We're at the 15. So we brought it on ourselves. And then later in the game, we're trying to come back and or run the clock out, and we take a delay a game on 1st down. So, we just got to be better ourselves. And then we've got to give ourselves a better opportunity to win. And that, to me, that's on me, or on us as a team.
Well, I say this about the league, and if you haven't had a chance to watch the UFL, this is exciting stuff because really the game can go either way. And because of their rules at the end, you have a lot of opportunities to get back into games when in traditional college or NFL football, the game would be over.
Yeah, and it's the truth because you could go for 1 point from the 2-yard line, 2 points from the 5, or 3 points on conversions on extra points from the 10. So that the math gets a little bit different there, as well as instead of onside kicking, we go for 4th and 12 from the 28, and then you keep the ball if you make it. It's 4th and 12, you make the first down, you keep going with the clock running. So it is exciting and different.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Of course, cheer on the Renegades. You're 2-1 on the season. What are you looking at next week, over the next few weeks?
Yeah, the good part for us, the only part of that game losing it is that it wasn't a divisional game. So our division, DC, is 3-0. Us and St. Louis are 2-1, leading it, and I guess San Antonio's 0-3. So to me, we're still very much in it, and that's what you want in this game. And we have a big game with St. Louis this weekend, this Saturday at Choctaw Stadium there in Arlington. I believe it's an 11:30 game, and anyway, so that'll be a big game for us.
And just in case you're living in Norman or the Oklahoma City metro area, it's 2.5 hours down on the interstate. As long as you get through Paul's Valley,
that's right. Come on down and see us.
Amen, amen. And remember, for videos anytime, just tap on our video link. For Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops, I'm Brad McMullen.